Hey, what's up, man?
Hey man, what's up? Which hotel are you at? That looks like a nice
Oh,
room.
it's a nice room, man. It's
A
brand new.
very nice room.
Like 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. 3 months old, I think, this hotel. And the arena is like a 2 minute walk. So it's really nice
Ah,
up here in Lagos right now, bro.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So how's it going? How's the preparation for this PBA season coming?
Oh man. It's tough. It's gonna be a struggle, I'd imagine, just because historically, when we get new players, a new makeup of a new team based on just how our philosophies are for offense, the complexities of it, it always takes us a little bit to kind of get used to each other, the spots, where to find buckets. I don't know how many teams are running the triangle offense, but it always takes a little bit longer than usual to kind of just get acclimated into everything. It happened with when we first got Christian. We didn't play too well when we first got him. Go a little bit further in the past, when we got Stan Pringle, same thing. We struggled. So not to be negative or anything, I'm just like, yeah, we got some learning to do.
No, no, for sure. But that's the beauty of the early part of the season, right? And training camp and practices and an off-season trip like what you guys have now at Ilocos, where you get to bond not just on the court but off the court too. And I've always been curious about that. When you do these PBA out of town trips, JD, and you're together for a few days, you're because normally in practices in Manila, you see each other at work, see each other at
Sure.
the games, you go home, you spend time with your family, your friends, and then it's a job, it's a pro job. But out of town games, you're with each other. It's almost like college all over again, right? And you only get
For
that
sure.
once a conference per team, maybe twice sometimes. So
Mhm.
what's an out of town game like in the PBA? Is it kind of like college where you get to bond with your teammates and you spend more time with each other?
Yeah. I mean, for sure. A lot of these guys were jaded with these types of trips, as in we've done it so many times. It just feels like another normal Tuesday or Wednesday, whichever day it is. For the new guys, yes, it's great for them to see how we are outside of the court. We're just a bunch of normal guys. We like to have fun, but really, it is a great time to develop chemistry. Coach Cohn is a big chemistry coach. So anytime we can be together, he wants us together. Obviously, the more that you can gel off the court, it correlates to better chemistry on the court. It is what it is. You don't have to love each other, but you do have to find a good balance of respect and that's usually how it goes. I mean, I've been doing this for so long, bro. So it feels so normal at this point. Um,
No, for
I
sure,
mean, the new
yeah.
guys, yeah, we got half of a team. It feels like it's new guys. So this team feels brand new, if you ask me.
Great, great. Well, I'm happy to hear that. And one of the reasons why Hinebra is so exciting this conference is because of your new acquisitions from the offseason. Stephen Holt, one of them, Isaac Go, a big man joining the team. But for me, I'm most excited to see how RJ Abarrientos is going to play with Hinebra in this triangle system in the PBA with a bunch of veteran teammates for a team that's looking to contend for a championship. What's RJ been like so far in practice, and how do you think he's going to perform come the
Yeah,
big lights of the PBA?
yeah, we have a lot of expectations for him, and we are kind of putting a little extra pressure on him because we all feel collectively that he's a special player and where he should end up or how he can be like. Um, it's up there. It's up there, and I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but he's built for this. He knows where he's at. He knows the situation, and he's taking advantage of it. And he's doing well. He's getting very acclimated in the system. He's a good leader naturally. You could see it. It's great to see that he's got LA and Coach Olson behind him. The masters of tempo, and everything else that comes with those guys in terms of the style that they play. So I love RJ's creativity. He's always pushing the boundaries with creativity, and that's something our teammates are still getting used to. He's pitching the ball ahead, or he's throwing mini lobs to our big fellas, and sometimes they're not seeing it yet. So, and obviously, it takes a little time to get used to playing with each other, but we're all real excited. Um, Kid can hoop. He's got the skills to back it up, the bravado, the charisma, the name on the jersey, on the back of his jersey. Obviously, we know who that is. We love him, man. He's great. It's going to be really, really fun watching him this year, for sure.
Fantastic, absolutely. And Dens here says in the comments that I have a bias with RJ, and that's probably because I picked RJ to win Rookie of the Year before the season started.
Okay.
And I am sticking
We're
with
all
that.
fans of him, bro.
I mean,
We're all fans of him.
definitely, he and the time in Korea and Japan surely adds to the experience factor once he comes into the PBA. He's not coming in as your typical rookie, right? He's played pro basketball in Asia for the last few years, so he's coming in there with the mind. Yeah, and he's coming in there, JD, with the mindset of, I don't really have to prove myself yet to my teammate. I mean, I don't have to prove myself to my teammates to show them I got game. They know I got game. So now it's about, okay, how do I help this team win the most? Do I be aggressive? Do I look for my own shot? Do I look to set up guys like Justin Brownlee or a Jared Dillinger or a Scotty Thompson or a Scotty Thompson?
Nice assist, though. That was a nice little assist, though. That was dope.
Of course, man. I got you. But
that's his biggest thing, though.
Yeah,
right what you said right there. Finding the sweet spots of our guys, and that's what's going to take a little time still. You got to get used to Justin. You got to get used to where Scotty wants the ball and who's on a heater right now. But all within the constructs of our offense. There's only places where you can pick and choose when to go, when to shoot, when to do your thing. So I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for him right now.
No, definitely. That is going to take some time, and the competition in the PBA can give you a bit of a rude awakening every now and then, especially when you're having a game that you're not shooting particularly well from the field. But let's get to you now, JD. You've been in the PBA for, I'm not even going to mention how many years, but you've been around a while.
We'll say 17 years.
17 years. Your PBA career is almost as old as someone about to graduate high school right now, which is crazy, right? But the fact that you've lasted this long goes to show your value in the locker room as a teammate, but also your value in terms of practices and off the court. So is that where you focus a lot of your time right now? Building up your teammates, building camaraderie, helping chemistry improve, kind of like what the Udonis Haslem did for the Miami Heat.
Yeah, right. So there's a saying, like, I'm not a basketball player anymore. I have 3 other jobs, and I'm a fireman, I'm a janitor, and I'm a therapist. So if you already can see where I'm going with this, if there's a mess that we got to clean up internally, hey, I'm there. I'll be your janitor. If there's a big fire we got to put out, something popped off, something internally, hey, I'll put out the fire. And obviously, life coaching therapist to the young fellas, when good or bad through a season, we're going through a lot of ups and downs. Things happen, whether it's personally or inside those lines. I'm the therapist, more or less.
Can you give me an example of a situation where you had to be a therapist in the last, without revealing too much, like in the last few conferences where you had to kind of insert yourself and be like, I might not be playing on the court, but in this area, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I think there are a lot of situations that happen during the season that don't get put out in public. Happens. You guys can't imagine how many times things happen internally with teams, and we have to find ways to sweep it under the rug or fix it and move forward as quickly as possible. And usually that's really the MO. How fast can we fix this distraction from us trying to win a championship? And it could be an array of things. Maybe the guy is in a contract year and he's trying to get a bigger bag, or he's trying to get himself situated for a better place to go, or it's so situational. That's why it's so hard to pinpoint one thing. And sometimes you got to be that guy to listen and respond to the issues that's going on. But really, you got to help lean these people to believing in our main philosophy as a team to win a championship. Sometimes a lot of these don't align up right away with a team, and that's where you have to do these things internally a lot. Whether you hang out and go out and eat, talk it over. Maybe you have a 2 a.m. call and talk until 4 a.m. Whether maybe a guy's not playing as much, maybe something happened to him personally where it's messing up his game outside of the court. A lot of these things, they're all just about making good relationships with your workers, your employees, your teammates, your brothers. It's just so much I can't really say, because I don't want to pinpoint and make it seem like everyone knows who I'm talking about, because I don't want to say, I can't say it.
No, I agree, and there's some stuff in the locker room that should stay in
For
the
sure.
locker room, right? Because
Yeah,
as
for
much as
sure.
us members in the media, we love to poke around sometimes, try to find out. There are things that there are locker room codes. There are laws in that locker room, and one of those laws is that if something like really crazy or significant happens and it has to stay low key, it should stay low key, because once that trickles out, there's a possibility that kind of destroys the chemistry to a point where it's not fixable anymore, which is an area I believe a lot of us in the media also respect. We know that we have jobs to do, but we also know you guys have jobs
Oh,
to do, and part of your jobs isn't just playing on the basketball court, it's also keeping the peace in the locker room. And I appreciate you for sharing context in that regard. Now, I want to get to some questions here. Thank you to our spectators for visiting right now. Some of our usuals from the community in the house. I see Edward, Pancho, Dens, Basby PH, Ron, Mitch. That's Ian. Yeah, Ian. Thank you guys for tuning in. Okay, let's get to some questions here. First, from Dens, I want to ask JD, does he have any plans of becoming an assistant coach for Ginebra or any other team given the opportunity?
Yeah, it just depends on how much time I have. I am a really crazy busy guy. Surprisingly, if you can't imagine that, the management at Ginebra, the bosses, they graciously told me anytime I want to turn into a coach, just to let them know I love being a player. I'm sure that, I'm going to have all the time in the world to be a coach when I walk that path, but it is coming soon. It's coming really soon. We'll see. It just depends. It depends on a couple other things that I'm doing with San Miguel outside of basketball, and I got zero time right now. It's crazy, bro.
I
It's
feel you,
crazy.
bro.
Yes, I would
I
love
feel you.
to be honest. I would love to, bro. Yeah. Coaching, talking. I've been doing it for so long at this point. I don't even play anymore. It's been so long since I actually played. I almost feel like a coach at this point anyways. So
You still play in practice though, right? All the time.
yeah, I'm still there in practice. I'm suited up. I'm there. I'm running barely I'm
Ready
a
to
walking
go.
zombie.
Ready
Walking
to
zombie,
go.
bro.
Yeah, at this point you might have to be that guy that has to get in there and you set the tone physically from time to time. Like someone's
Yeah.
or you've never been that guy.
Yeah, I mean that's Raymond Aguilar's job. He's that
Yeah.
that guy for us. I'm the kill him with kindness guy at this point. I'm not that dude. I can't be
I
I can't
get
be
you.
mean. I don't know. I'm just such a nice guy, bro.
No, I get you. I get you. Okay. I want to get to this question here from Basket
Yeah.
BPH. We go all the way back to before you joined the PBA. JD, is it true that prior to joining the draft, Coach Chot Reyes tried to gatekeep or hide you from the other teams?
Oh man. uh yeah. Yeah. They didn't want too much commotion to get thrown my way. Like too much I don't know. Because obviously Gabe is going to be number one no matter what. And I didn't understand anything when I first got here, so I was just saying yes to everything. Like, okay, sure, yeah, got you. Won't do too much. Just get those games in. Obviously, as a young fella, you have little spurts of wanting to do some really fun things. So every now and then, I'd catch a oop from half court, doing a reverse, running back. Coach is kind of like, "What are you doing? Stop!"
Don't show everything.
And and you're a kid, when you're that age, you want to prove to people that hey, I'm here, everyone. So it would come out every now and then, but yeah, really weird, right? Really, it was cool. It all worked out, obviously. So yeah, not too bad.
Nice. Well, one of the things I really admire about what you're doing is the podcast you guys have with Gabe and
Oh shoot.
Sol and Susie, the Let It Fly podcast, which I think is arguably the best sports podcast we have right now in the country. And you guys have done a tremendous job just building it up. Where was the inspiration to start that podcast from? Was it just to give some of you veteran players a voice to express more of your thoughts and help people learn
Yeah.
more about the game? Or was it more just something that you actually thought about doing for the longest time and now you're finally actually
Yeah.
doing it?
Right. No, 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 no. So everyone been wanting to do this. Everyone talks about this behind closed doors. You're at a bar, you're at homie's house. Everyone wants to start a podcast. Really starting it and doing it and executing the right way. Kind of a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie. And trying to get everyone's schedules worked up together, But going back, I just figured, you know what? Let's just do it, man. I got this. Guys, just trust me. Just let me set everything up. I figured out how to do it. What led me to do it was because I was able to operate the CNN show that I had for a little bit, and I learned so much production, the business side of it, just working deals, how to even properly get it filmed and how to get the right people behind the camera, producer, director, and we got the editors and all those things. I had no idea until I did that CNN show. I crushed it. I learned so much. And then it was easy to set up the basketball podcast after that. And, with any original idea, they've all been done. So you just copy others who've already figured it out. So I went to the States, looked at Podcast P or Pat Bev or All the Smoke, polished them all up and just made it ours. That was kind of really
Amazing.
the concept. Yeah, that was it,
And
bro.
I'm not gonna reveal specifics, but I know you guys invested a lot in making this happen. You literally are putting your money where your mouth is
Oh, for
with
sure.
this podcast for sure, and you guys are
Right.
consistent with it. Any big plans coming up for the podcast?
Yeah. The next step, we want to start making movies. Obviously, we'll
Wow.
still
Like
we'll still
sports
be
documentaries?
for sure sports. Yeah, all sports
Yeah.
documentaries. I think we need more of those in our country.
30
Don't
for
have
30. Yes, sir.
30 for 30s for sure, like hard knocks type things. We just don't have enough of that, I feel. We do have a couple, but we need more. We need more stories going out there, hearing about our athletes and people who you know, went through the darkness and came out rising like a phoenix. Everyone has cool stories in the sports world to get to where they got to. Like every story you hear from someone on how they got from here, started from here, they're all awesome. Um,
Amazing. Yeah.
so yeah, we would love to showcase that. We got some plans coming for sure in the mix. So I can't tell them yet, but that's the general thing. That's the general idea of where we're going next.
No, that's fantastic. I think sports documentaries have is something that hasn't been around consistently enough given all the great
Yeah.
stories that we have over the years. I mean, I'll give you an example. We spoke so much about Carlos Yulo's gold medal victory, right? And of course, we are
Right.
incredibly proud of what he accomplished. Likewise for the boxers who won bronze medals. Likewise for Heidelin Diaz who won gold a few years ago, and everyone else who have represented this country to the best of their abilities.
Facts.
But you know what I realized too is that I don't know the stories of the Olympians from, you know, 20 years ago, 24
Yeah.
years ago,
Right.
16 years ago, right? And, if you search their names online, sure, once in a while you'll find a clipping, an article, something to educate you a little bit about who these people are. But do we have a media source almost like a documentary or a channel or something where these documentaries, films about these athletes, their stories, their rise from humble beginnings to prominence, documented, well researched? Do we have that? I mean, maybe I'm just missing out and my research isn't good enough, but at the very least, it doesn't feel as easily accessible in other parts of the world where, for example, if I wanted to watch the story about the New York Knicks' rivalry with Reggie Miller in the Indiana Pacers, I
Right.
could probably find a
Yeah.
30 for 30 documentary on ESPN Plus and a streaming service in the States or somewhere, right? Now, I'm not saying we're not going to get there and media outlets aren't already trying their best to make that happen because like I look at the work Filipinas Live is doing and I think it's very
We're
impressive.
catching on. You can see it in the
And
media. They're catching on
exactly.
for sure, for sure.
Exactly. So maybe it's just a matter of time, but an idea like that, the chance to really dig deep into the stories of Filipino athletes and learn more about them. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be a great, great development for sports media in the Philippines. Is that your main inspiration for possibly doing this?
Yeah. I mean, the main inspiration is really it stems back to the PBA. Obviously, I love the PBA so much, and we need to get new fans to watch and adore our PBA guys. And the ways to do that is going into the digital space, making content, making movies. That's where the young people are. Something that I noticed, there's still a lot of PBA fans, but what I noticed, they're older. We're Titos, Titas, Lolos, Lolas, telling the young ones to follow and support their PBA team. I don't see as many young people really just loving the PBA. They have their players. We have our Kai Sotos and Dwight Ramoses and Scotty Thompsons and Kiefer. We have those guys for sure. But it really stems from just, man, I want the PBA to be special. It's special to me. It saved my life, that's for sure. I don't know if I would be alive if I didn't have the PBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of just, it did save my life for sure. And
Do you want
I
to
just want to
do you
do
want to
with,
expound on that? I mean, I'd love to hear about that if you're willing to tell the story of how you think the PBA saved your life.
I mean, geez, it just made me, you don't even realize it when you're in the league. You develop discipline, character, things, a solid routine. You're healthy. You're waking up, if you're really motivated, you're training 3 times a day. You're waking up at 5 in the morning. You're getting your training in. You're eating healthy food. You're doing everything you can to prep your body for these games. I learned how to work with others. I learned business. I got a big network. This is all because I'm a player in the PBA. And everything that I've accomplished up to this point, it really stems from being in the PBA. So yeah, I want to see it do well. And I want people to be proud of it. I don't want people to be all down and like, damn, man, PBA is like this. Like, I want us to be proud about it. Everyone talking about it again. So any way that I can be a part of that, bro, I'm there. I'm in there.
What can the PBA do in their part to get the younger crowd, the younger generation,
Oh, simple.
back into the game,
Yeah.
developing the same passion that fans of yesteryears had?
Digital marketing. Go all in on digital marketing. We want to put on a pedestal all the players and make them look like gods, relatable gods. So people can see who they are and see their story. And wow, I want to be like that one. He is so cool. I kind of look like him, or I can relate to him. We're the same size. I want to be him. That's all. And I think the more that we just broadcast and just put ourselves out there digitally, good things will happen. We got to do it the right way, obviously, but just trying to cut this a little and condense the answer a little bit. I think focusing on digital marketing, creating narratives and rivals and stories, like all that jazz, that would help.
Interesting, interesting. Now, I want to talk to you more about that, and maybe we will in a little bit. But first, I gotta get to this question of Enzo right here, and of course, shout out to Enzo for coming on the show. He says, "JD, you come from a banking background, and we're in the same Web3 community. All right,
Oh,
we're going
cool.
to Web3. Let's go. What do you
Whoa.
think of the current crypto landscape? Are we going up?" And JD, just to add to that, let's say someone watching us right now, whether that's on Playback Live or on YouTube or Spotify, is debating in their head, should I get into crypto? Should I invest? I've heard all these things. Where do I get the right news sources? What advice would you give to that person?
Okay. All right. So yeah, sounds like it's a couple questions we gotta break down.
Yeah. So we'll get to
Crypto
Enzo's
market.
question first.
Yeah, crypto market currently consolidating, a bunch of muff. I think it's going to be a hell of a year for 2025. I believe it's gonna go up, 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 up. That's what I think. Between now and 2025, we're gonna see some crazy stuff happening. A lot of things are gonna be finished and built. A lot of things will be done in terms of techie side of crypto stuff. We're talking about gaming. Gaming is really going to pull crypto out into the next big run. A lot of the games are going to be starting to get finished, like good games, not just it's going to be fun, legitimate games. So until then, I think don't think that there's some big rush that you got to get in. Don't think you have to put an extraordinary amount of money to make money. It's hard for people to understand this, but don't compare yourself to others. Look at what you're currently making, like as the income that you're receiving. I would use about 5%. 5% of that income that you're making, you put it towards crypto. That's it. Don't go crazy with it. Take your time. Learn,
Interesting, yeah.
learn terminologies, learn crypto, go to YouTube University, take courses, whatever it is. Don't rush into the market because you're seeing some bozo on YouTube or on news telling you to get in. Like you gotta go in at your own pace. All that noise that you're going to be hearing is just going to confuse you, and you're going to follow the wrong information, and you're probably going to lose your money if that happens. It happened to me, speaking off experience. So crypto market, hey, I think it's okay. I think it's a good time to get in, but I'm no finance guy. I'm a basketball player. So it's just, yeah, don't take my word for it too much. I would myself just have you do your own research and make up your own mind. Because if you lose the money, then you're going to be mad at yourself. And I tell you, it's a lot easier being mad at yourself than listening to some bozo and then you lose money. Oh, you're really going to be hurting by going about it that way.
Awesome. And yeah, shout out Enzo. I did meet you through the NBA Top Shot market. What a time that was during the pandemic. That was a crazy time.
That was fun.
That was fun. I mean, sometimes this is gonna sound horrible. Sometimes I kind of miss those days. Now, obviously, I hated the fact that people were getting sick, and we were living in quarantine, and of course, and for me, in my position, in my situation, it was okay because thankfully I had parents who put a roof over my head, put food on my table, and allowed me to live comfortably. And I'm not oblivious to the fact that there were people who didn't have the same benefits. But just in terms of things just felt organized to some degree, and everyone at home. And I guess to me, nowadays, back to normal or the new normal or whatever we can even call this new generation post pandemic, it just feels like there's so many things happening all at once, right?
Yeah.
Things here, things there, and you feel like, oh, I need to be a part of that. Oh, I need to be a part of this. Oh, I can't miss out on that. And then suddenly you're burnt out because you haven't left any time to rest, which is important too, compared to during the pandemic where it felt like things were more online, everyone was home. At a certain time, you just knew that work wasn't happening because people had to rest and everything. I don't know. That's just me. I think that's going to be an interesting study over the next few years.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. I mean, given the pain, the anguish that people had, but in my own little world, I'm with you. I had a great time. I had a great time being home just because I had the craziest lifestyle before, and then pandemic, everything stopped, and then got into crypto, and it was fun. It was fun just being on the computer all day, trying to make deals and flip NFTs and get coins, and crazy amount of money was going around. Like, it was fun. I thought it was cool.
Exactly. And, the pandemic helped me build some relationships too online, which became friendly relationships after the pandemic too. So that I am thankful for. Okay, if everyone wants to add more questions for JD, feel free to send it. Now, JD, I'm going to ask you something that you brought up with me when I met you at the Ubisoft event a few months ago. You shared some news with me, and it was still low key at that point about you and some former PBA players getting together to start a sort of project together, a big project. Is that something you can tease to us a little bit here on the show? Or tell us more about it.
Yeah, I can. It's just, oh man, it's just so much. So I am trying to be the first player to own and operate his own PBA team, like a new PBA franchise. And it sounds so cool to say, but man, there's so many moving parts in this. And I still got a long ways to go. A lot has to happen for it to work, but I'm excited. And, I don't like to push this out too much publicly or anything because geez, it's just so much has to happen for it to work. But just the fact that I'm going to try, I think that's cool. I think that's something that would cause a stir up, whether that's bad or good for our league. Who's to say it's going to fail and I'm going to look so silly and dumb for even trying? Or maybe it's the other way around and it's something that will, maybe I'll be a pioneer of sorts. But it's a lot, dude. It's a lot. I hope it
Okay,
works.
okay. Let's go from the start, because a lot of people right now are like, whoa, because I had the same reaction when you told me at the Ubisoft event. So it's not just you, it's also a few other players, right?
Yeah, I asked some other players their thoughts about, hey, if theoretically we were to run a team, would you want to be a part of it? And yeah, so I did get a bunch of collective yeses. It's easy to say yes in the moment, but when we get down and dirty into the business side of it, is it something you really want to do? Because our reputations are going to be on the line. Yes, it's going to be fun, but really, we got people depending on us, and we're people's lives. They got to take care of families. It's a big deal. I have no experience owning a team. I'm going to have to get a consultant, an advisor, a mentor of sorts that's been there and who's done it before. I'm not just going to be some wannabe Mark Cuban just running around doing whatever I want. Like, obviously, he's awesome. He knows what he's doing. But you catch my point. I just can't I own a team and woo, I'm just going to show up to every game and cheer. And this is fun, guys. There's a lot more to it, I'd imagine.
So it's also Gabe and Saul are joining you guys?
They agreed. Yes, they all agreed. But it's just more of like, keep us updated, JD. Let us know. Let us know when you get closer to it, when we're really pushing you down. The idea sounds great, JD.
Sure. Have you gone as far as to think, okay, what should the team name be? Should we call ourselves the Daredevils?
Oh, heavens no. I would never do that. That poor team. Poor team, if that ever happened. That would be the worst decision. I wouldn't last very long.
But what research have you done so far? What steps do you know have to be taken first to get a PBA team?
Yeah, operational costs, entry fee, how long you have to be in the league for, for numbers wise, it's entry fees around 150 million pesos to keep the team going, respectively. You would need at least triple that. If you want to do it the right way, I would imagine you need around 1 billion pesos, and how to run it properly without going bankrupt in the first 3 to 5 years, right? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Can I really execute something like that realistically? All the other stuff sounds fun, making a team up together and like just going to all the games and all the support, and that would be so much fun. But the other stuff, I gotta get more information, get a little bit better on that type of stuff.
For sure. Now, what would you be like as an owner? Let's speak theoretically here. Would you be like at every game, or would you be more in the background? Would you be the face of the team as well, wearing suit coats on the sidelines?
Mark Cuban, full on Pinoy Mark Cuban, bro. I want to be full on support. I know all the personnel. I know the players. I know the offense. I know the defense. Like, I'm in there. I am in there. Yeah, I would be all about it, bro. And then, of course, just because of my media background and content, I'll be making so much random shit. I mean, like, it's going to be weird. Like, I want to be this owner that's a gamer, streamer, crypto guy that has TV shows. Like, it's going to be one of those type of situations. It sounds like, man, but this guy's just doing anything. What is he doing now? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just all randomness. But I just always had a feeling like, man, this is the stuff I want to do. So I'm going to try. It's fun.
I can't wait.
I love it.
Happen.
Oh, I hope it happens. I got to do it before the 50th anniversary of our league, the PBA,
which is next season.
So
that's why
that's why I look like this right now. Like, I'm just stressed out, pale. I don't go outside. I don't socialize. No, I'm in front of my PC, or I'm going to meetings or work. Like, I do nothing but business and family. That's all I do.
That's amazing. That's how it really is supposed to be a huge part of it,
Yeah.
right? You need to know where your north stars are, and business and family, that's a pretty great place to start. I want to get your business thoughts on something. Now, over the
Sure.
years growing up, as I talked to prominent businessmen who were older than me, businessmen and businesswomen, a lot of what I heard is if you really want to succeed at something, you gotta put all your eggs in that basket. That's where you gotta focus your time on. You gotta work on that, you gotta push that, and you gotta be in that one field and not let other aspects distract you. But I can't help but think that a lot of them said this in the context of how the world used to be. And nowadays, the world moves extra fast with social media, with technology, communication, and all of those aspects where I feel you can actually balance different tasks and different companies. And I was watching a video the other day, the IG account called The School of Hard Knocks with a Z, which is one of my favorite IG accounts to follow right now. And this guy basically goes around, interviews business owners, and asks them questions like, have you ever been broke before? What's your secret tip to becoming a great businessman, to making seven figure investments and cap and sales and whatnot, profit? And there's this one
Yikes.
guy he interviewed who said, I own 87 businesses, 87, 87. And the reason why I'm able to own all those businesses and succeed despite the many businesses is because I have a system in place, a general system I can apply to every business, and I know it can succeed. So, as someone who has been doing business for the longest time now, Jade, I have to ask you, how do you feel about that context? Do you still think people should focus on one area to really succeed in business? Or do you feel, given where our world is now, you can have many different business interests and still succeed?
Yeah. Based off my experience, because I'm obviously, if I figured this out, I would be a multi-millionaire, billionaire. I'd be on some jet somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's I think it's smarter to just focus on one thing and go all in on that one thing. I'm not doing that. I'm doing like 5 or 7 different things at once. Maybe that's just my ADHD, and I'm doing it because I love doing all these things. I do. I know that's not the smartest thing to do. I've heard that before of what you were saying about focusing on one thing and just being great at that. Just like kill that of whatever that you have, if it's a good product or not. But I guess my stance was on the way I wanted to do all these things I wanted to do was because I didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. I just thought, you know what? What do I love? What do you want to do? And I wanted to do all these things, right? And I said, well, as long as my runway and I have the bandwidth to do it, and everything can still operate okay, then why not? Why not? I'll learn so much. Like I know that these things that I'm going to be starting, I'm not going to crush them right away. No one ever crushes it right away. There's going to be a big learning curve, a bunch of trial and error. So I figured, all right, I'm going to do a shit ton of everything. And yep, I'm going to fail. I'm not going to be really good at it. Maybe people are going to laugh at me. Maybe I'm going to lose a little bit of money, but I'm going to gain experience. I'm going to gain a network. And who's to say one of these things that I am doing is going to pop off? I don't know, but let's do it anyways. Why not? And it's working out okay so far. I'm not going to lie. Like I've got burnt out already a couple times and I had to stop. And I had to like just leave the world and hide in a cave for a month because it was just so crazy. I would get like 30 meetings a day starting at 3 a.m. Doing just meeting after meeting before practice. I'm doing meetings in my van, going to practice. As soon as practice is over, I got more meetings or, things that I have to take care of. You mix in that with going to places around the world for my job or networking or some type of business that I have to do, along with basketball. And it's tiring, but man, I'm learning so much, bro. Like I'm meeting some of the craziest, coolest people, learning from them. Yep, I'm making mistakes every now and then. Like with Let It Fly, we're not perfect. We don't have a cadence of putting out episodes on time. And we're trying to find ways how to fix that so we can be better, because we have a good product. It's amazing, but we have to be consistent. You know, you and I both know that in the digital world of making content. So yeah, for sure, man. Like, I think it's situational for everyone. It's like, how much bandwidth do you have, and how much do you think you can really do and pull off, right? How much sacrifice are you willing to take? Are you okay to have no life, working nonstop, away from family or friends, or the things that you enjoy?
Oh, hey, from JP, because Vaughn was just here. How was going to Ateneo last week? Any reflections?
Oh, I mean, shoot. When I was on Talk Text, I used to practice at Ateneo. So for like the first 5 years of my Philippine experience, it was always at Ateneo. So I'm an Ateneo guy just because everyone brought me into Ateneo and told me the history of Ateneo and all that jazz.
One big fight, baby.
One big fight. Yo, when I was at the East Coast tournament, when I was hosting it, yeah, I was gassing Ateneo. I was gassing their cheerleaders, start chanting and what. Anyways, being at Ateneo, it was cool. It was cool. I am such an OG. Like, everyone looks like little kids to me over there. So, yeah, bunch of little kids running around at a college campus. But it was cool, though. It was cool. It was cool. Ateneo is beautiful. So I want my son to go there when he gets older. So
Okay, well, you know what? The Ateneo Blue Eagles just got a new recruit, future young Jay Daredevil. Spread the news, everybody. The dynasty's coming back. Okay, we got a question here from Enzo. JD, you've been working for years as a professional athlete overseas. As a fellow expat, how do you deal with homesickness?
Oh, well, you make this your home. That's it. I wish I could give you a better answer. The first 3 to 4 years, I used to miss home a lot, but then I found a good tribe. I found people that cared about me, and I cared about them. You get a house, you get some dogs and cats. Now this feels like home. And then those people from the States, they'll come over and visit here. You know what I'm saying? I've been out here for such a long time. This is my home. It's like I've been here almost half of my life. So it's, yeah, Philippines my home. But in the beginning, sure, missing home, yeah, it was tough for sure. It was like an OFW for sure. Like, I was full on American when I came to the Philippines. I didn't speak Tagalog. I didn't have like immediate family out here. I didn't know anyone. So it was different. It was a big change. We didn't have smartphones and GPS and really good internet when I got here. So it was definitely a challenge. Like, it was hard to call home, to be honest. You couldn't even call home. It was different back then like that. So, but yeah, Philippines is my home now. It doesn't feel like anything.
Awesome. Well, we've got another question here from Enzo. JD, you've been having a successful career in the Philippines. What's your message to aspiring Filipino professional basketball hoopers in the U.S. who have yet to consider the Philippines as a destination for their professional careers?
Wow. Okay. Cool advice. I would keep it I would be as forward as I could with it. Philippine hoopers out here, they can go. These kids, they can go. It's different how it was, let's say 15, 20 years ago, as opposed to now. Like, it's tough to get into the Philippine basketball circuit when you're from the States. It's not easy. Even if you play Division I and all that noise, like, it's still not some walk in the park that you're going to get guaranteed in. Even if you got G League experience, like, it's not easy, bro. Especially if you're a guard, because our guards are elite here.
Right? True that.
It is so tough, bro. And I would say to these kids out in the States, you better be training minimum 2-3 times a day, every day, 6 days a week. Like, it's no joke, man. Like, I don't think you're just going to waltz in here and think you're going to get buckets. Like, it's different now. So I think a good idea was going the college route coming here too. I think that is smart. You build up your brand, you build up your name, because the basketball community in the Philippines is very small. Assistant coaches are from the PBA, are head coaches in college. Everyone knows everyone. Like, so building up yourself here as a collegiate player and then going that route, I think that would be pretty smart.
Absolutely.
But shoot, if you're nice and you can play D1 and get NIL deals and all that stuff, like, maybe you stay in the States first and you do that.
Fantastic. Okay, we have another question here from JP.
Yep.
Who is the best PBA player that is
Ooh.
a gamer? So we're not just talking on the court
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah.
gaming.
Okay, so I mean, I think Junmar obviously he's up there.
Bro is the
Uh,
GOAT on the court and in the
I know,
gaming, man. I
I know,
mean,
bro. I
that,
know, man. I know. For local, Philams or Phil Foreigners that I know that Jeremiah Gray is nice at Call of Duty and Apex. Like he's like cracking top 200, 250 on Call of Duty. I know people don't know what I'm talking about if they're outside the gaming world, but he is crazy nice. So is Robbie Herndon. So is Maverick. So is Jamie Malonzo. Those guys, man, they are nice at Call of Duty. Like they're elite. Like I don't like playing with them because they're so good. I hold them back, and they're too nice to tell me that I'm trash. And no, it's okay, JD, you can stay with us. Like those dudes, yeah, they're solid, bro.
oh man,
Ronnie
great to
Brundile too.
know.
Ronnie Brundile, sorry, I know he's a gamer. He's a big time gamer. You can go.
Okay. Interesting. Good question here from Cyril. I've watched you since your rookie year. Would you consider your draft batch as the best in the last 2 decades, considering that the top three picks from your batch, Gabe, Jared, and Jason, are still in the PBA? I believe all of you had great and successful careers, considering all three are still in the PBA and all have championship rings.
I need to see a list. I need to see a list of some of these other draft classes. I think we're up there. I don't know if we're number one. I think we're up there. I think we're top 5 best draft classes, but I can't tell you who would be number one. I need to see a list of the years because I just can't. It's so comprehensive. It's hard to just pinpoint one year or another year as opposed to you know what I'm saying? Top 5. I say we're in top 5. I'll leave it as that. We got to be up there for sure.
Great.
For sure.
Here, this one I want to ask. What's
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
assessment of the 4-point line so far?
Yeah, I like it because it draws attention to us, good and bad. We need attention. We need people to see us. So the more attention we get, the more eyes we're gonna get onto us, and maybe those eyes will turn into fans. You know what I'm saying? It's still way too early to tell what if this is a good idea or a bad idea. We're gonna look like geniuses, or maybe we fall on our face and we gotta pivot and figure out our next step. I'm not sure. I like the move. We got to do something. I mean, I know there's so many ideas out there, but like, let's just pick an idea. Let's execute. Let's see what happens.
Fantastic.
So I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. Why not?
I gotta admit, I was doubtful at first that this was gonna work. Kind of like it now. I kind of do, man.
I mean,
it adds
I
a
wanna see
layer
an
of
8-point
excitement. Yeah.
I want to see an 8-point swing, like back-to-back 4-pointers. Like,
Oh,
I want to see stuff like that happen in a
Bro,
finals game or something.
did you see CJ Perez hit that sidestep
That dagger?
4-point? Oh my goodness! I was like, wow, that's going in, and it did, and I was like, that's just crazy.
And then it looks fun seeing just these bombs coming from the parking lot. Like the ball is just in the air for so long. Like it looks cool when it goes in. Like how Steph, when he shoots from long distance, just looks cool, man. It looks really cool. So
does.
I like it, bro.
How does Coach Tim feel about it? Would you know?
Yeah, he keeps it pretty mum to the players. Like if he's the leader of the team, he's not going to voice his frustrations down. He's going to voice them upwards to the higher up bosses. So we don't hear too much from him about it. I think I like Boss Al's way, his little comment about the 4-point line. I think he said recently, like, if you don't like it, don't use the 4-point line. Coaches, don't even use it. Fine, shoot your 3.
True that.
It's just a line. So stop, being all whatever you want to be like towards it, then don't use it. That's it.
No, it's great. It's actually a good point. Of course, people reacted in a way that was like, oh, he's so dismissive about it, but it makes sense. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. It's there. And you know what? Yeah, go for the 3. Correct. Go for the mid-range shots.
We ain't forcing you to shoot them 4-pointers. Like,
yeah. The math is crazy though, bro. Because, okay, let's say you take 10 4-point shots, 10 mid-range shots, and 10 3-point shots. If you hit 4 out of 10 from 4-point range, and given the amount of shooters we have nowadays in the PBA, it's not impossible to think of someone like Like Von Pesumal. You leave Von Pesumal semi-open for 10 4-point shots, he's probably going to make more than 4, right?
Yeah.
So if he makes 4 out of 10, that's 16 points. If you make 5 out of 10 3-point shots, that's 15 points. So you make an extra point more from the 4-point shots. You make 8 out of 10 mid-range shots, that's 16 points. That's the same amount of points as 4 out of 10 from 4-point range. Do you think the math eventually is going to steer PBA teams into saying, yeah, we should take more 4-point shots?
Yeah, it's going to happen. Same thing happened with the 3-point line. You saw it when I first got into the league. Shooting 20 to 25 3-pointers collectively as a team was considered a lot. Back, let's say 10, 15 years ago. Now, teams are averaging 40 attempts for 3-pointers a game because it's a numbers game. I can't imagine, or I can imagine the same thing is going to happen with the 4-point line just by metrics and probability percentages. Like, I'm with you. I think it's going to eventually change, and we're going to see teams shooting 10 to 15 4-pointers a game, right? Like I would not, I do not, won't be surprised, bro. I think it's going to happen.
Absolutely. Well, JD has been very generous with his time. Thank you so much, despite you being in an out-of-town trip right now at the team, and we're wishing you all the best. Rain or shine should be a great matchup on Saturday. I am stoked to watch RJ Abarientos play basketball. One of my most exciting storylines this season, especially
he's a cool
with that team.
too, bro. He's cool, man. He's not into himself. He even though he knows the situation and we're gassing him, he gets it, bro. I'm excited too.
He gets it for sure. Okay. Now, before we end this podcast, I want to ask JD, if you have to imagine what the next 5 years are going to be like for you, how do you picture it playing out?
Oh, in a perfect world, I got a PBA team. I have the biggest media company out here in the Philippines. I'm a big crypto advocate. So my goal is really to merge esports and crypto games, which I'm currently doing right now with Dark League Studios. They are now getting into the crypto space. So I want to see that come into fruition more. And I want to see my little son be like a warrior, a gladiator already by 5 years from now. He'll be 5 in 5 years from now. That would be my perfect situation right there. And I'm a coach for Ginebra, sure.
Wait, you can't own a PBA team and coach Ginebra at the same time, though, right?
Yeah. Right when I said that, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Okay. You got to at least give us an idea. If you could name your PBA team right now, what would you name it? Let's leave it at that. Let's end the episode there. What would you name your PBA team? The Crypto Blazers, right?
Right. Nah. It's a crypto product. I don't know.
Coins.ph something.
The coiners. No, I don't know, dude. I have no idea what I would name it, but yeah.
The miners.
The crypto miners.
I kind of like Daredevils, bro. I really like Daredevils.
No, that's never gonna happen, bro. Much as I already clout my Daredevil around, putting it on a PBA team would be the worst idea ever.
Bro, and then for opening ceremonies, you can all do a TikTok dance routine with a Daredevil mask. What do you think? I mean, come on. I think you should hire me as your events coordinator for your team.
Blasphemy, terrible ideas at this point. I think I need to get off now. I think it's a good time. I'm going to get off.
Okay, last question. Promise. Yeah. Would Von Pesumal be your first pick if you had to draft your... If you had to make your team right now? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I need shooters, bro. Yes. That's
you gonna let him take 10 4-point shots a game?
He has the green light. He has the green light to shoot. Yeah. We don't call him ETC for nothing, bro. ETC means empty the clip. That's what it means in the chat. Yeah,
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much to Jay Daredevil of the Daredevils for joining us tonight. Awesome knowledge, business, crypto, basketball, mental health. So many topics we covered, and I think this is going to be a great episode for people to listen to at any time. It's very evergreen, and from the bottom of my heart, bro, I wish you do get your PBA team because we're talking about changing the league, setting trends in the league, adding some excitement. I think a player-owned team, a player led by someone such as yourself, would be
I hope
Very
so.
cool. So I'm wishing you
I
all
hope
the
so,
best,
bro.
man.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I appreciate the love, man. For real, Dabs, you've always been a real one. I love what you're doing here. I love what you're doing on playback. I gotta talk to you later offline about this. But
For sure, bro.
But outside of that, man, love what you're doing. Love the community that you build. So my pleasure to be here with you, man. You're a real one. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you too, bro. Thank you so much for your time. God bless and best of luck with everything you do.
I see you, homie. All right, guys. All right, chat. You guys have a good one, man. Later, everyone.